everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collection and another episode, Budget Collecting, and another episode of Cash or Trash. This is our Sunday show where we go through the hot comics of this week. We are doing this later than normal. We're doing this at 3, and I realized I don't know how many people will have show up because I didn't give even 30 minutes notice for when I set the stream up to when I'm going live. It's actually right about 20 because I waited as long as I could, and I gotta get this done. I got 2 other things going on tonight. I'm gonna be on Magic Lasso's channel tonight for retro review, and then I gotta host D&D later. So I had to get this done if I was gonna do it, even though no video from Tom, so no top 10 from Tom this week. No hottest trending comics of the week from Tom. So we're just looking at the CBSI hot top 10. So we had Blue Collar Dan did hop in here with the first a little bit earlier. So hopefully maybe some other people will show up. If not, you guys can catch it on the rewind. As always, what are we doing here? So on Saturdays, I always put out the 6-month look back, looking back at the hot comics from 6 months ago to see how they've done in the market since. Well, to put my money where my mouth is, over the last year plus, I've been doing the Cash or Trash, where I look at the hot books of this week and I make predictions sure to go wrong. Oh, there's Doss. What's going on? Doss Comics. What's up? And Basilisk. Well, you are welcome, old man Bob. What's going on? I got a few people starting to pop in here, and I appreciate that. Kenneth, what is going on? So if you're new, this is what I do is I make predictions. I throw them into categories of what basically, in general terms, what I think is going to happen with the book. And those categories are, if I get to them, where they at? There they are. Street Cast Homemade books, I think, are going to continue to go up in value over the 6-month period. Occasionally we talk about a book and we differentiate between 6 months and a year. There's a lot of Street Cast long-term Street Cast books that maybe over 6 months are not, just because of circumstances. We got our Worth It books that are probably about right. Long term, definitely maybe worth it. Shorter term, you can maybe get it. These are books that are priced about right. Might go up a little bit. Probably, you're not going to do bad either way. We got our I'll Be Backs. The flip side of that Worth It coin. These are books that are priced about right, but if you're patient, you can probably find some deals. Save yourself 10%, 15%. If you're just a little bit patient on getting those books. We got our Traps. These are books that are definitely overpriced because of some sort of news, something going on in the market. These are going to drop 30, 40, 50%. We have a bunch of these every week. And last of our main categories is our Dumpster Fires. These are books that are going to drop 60, 70, 80% in value. And we usually have 1 or 2 of these every week as well when we do the look back show. So thinking something's way, way overpriced, there's a good chance there's 1 or 2 in there that are. Occasionally we'll throw in a whatever, like, okay, it's not really even that hot. That's usually a book that's on the Tom list, which we don't have this week. Occasionally we'll throw, come on, man. It just, because the logic behind why people are chasing it makes no sense. And, and a few other things as we go. So let's see who else has jumped in here. Toby is in the house. What is going on? I'm glad you did. For anybody who did not check out Old Wolf streams from yesterday, Old Wolf 65, he did a charity 24-hour stream. There's 3 different sections of it because he could do 8 hours at a time or whatever. I believe the link to donate is still live. He was doing a fundraiser for pediatric cancer. If you didn't get a chance to catch it, as far as I know they didn't hit the goal before he went off the air this morning of $5,000 that he was raised for pediatric cancer on Old Wolf's 24-hour stream, which is amazing. But I believe the link is still live. So if you wanted to go in and add to it, $10, $15, I'm sure he would appreciate it. And I know the family of the little girl that he was doing the stream for would appreciate it. And so I'm glad Toby brought that up, and I mentioned it one more time. Manic, what is happening? Welcome, sir. Welcome. There's my man Unruly. I didn't give him much notice, so he's sliding in here, but we haven't talked about any books. You haven't missed any meh at all today, Unruly, so you're still in good shape. And let's get started. So we only got 10 books to talk about, so this maybe won't take very long. Oh, Moneyball is here, and so is Fritzies. What's going on, both of you? Welcome, welcome. And first up, we got another Dark Ride book. This is Dark Ride number 4, the Tony Flex 1 in 25. there's been quite a bit of success with these early on. These kind of Dark Ride is basically based on a theme park. It's kind of in all these Disney homages that they've done with for this horror comic. They've done a ton of these for particularly on the incentives all the way through. This one in 25 though is only going for 25.30. That is not that hot for a 20. It's going at ratio. That's not super hot. That tends to indicate to me that it's probably going to end up about half that. If it's only going for ratio right now when it's new and hot, despite being a cool Scrooge McDuck, DuckTales kind of homage, it's probably going to be a $10 or $15 book, which makes it a trap at half price. That's pretty standard where you're looking at 125s. And if anything, as we've talked about recently, given the current market, I may be too lenient on some of these incentives. They've actually backed up worse than what we've seen in the past. It really does like the skulls instead of the money. 5 a.m. Pacific? It's not on his thing. He released, no, that's his, that's the back issues of the week. That's a different video that normally comes out like on the hottest back issues of the week. That is the video he normally does on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Usually comes out Wednesdays or Thursdays, I guess, with Jim Mint. That is a different list than this one. It's not the trending comics, which is the one I've always used. That's his back issues that go for big money. And it was super late this week, which tells me this video is probably going to be super late. So I don't know what Tom's going on. He's just been behind lately, but that is actually a different list than the one we usually break down here. Yeah, that's usually only big keys, big books. I didn't watch it today, but yeah, I know the title and that kind of stuff. That is a different list than the one we usually break down because he usually does 2 a week. He does his hottest back issues of the week, and then he does his hottest trending of the week. And we have been talking about the trending. Everybody's got a life. Things come up. I don't, so I'm not too worried about it. We'll talk about these 10 books. But yeah, I think this one's a trap. If it's 1 in 25 going for 25 to 30, that's not a good sign for long-term value. Speaking of, we got the Mandalorian number 7. This is the Torrin Clark 1 in 50 going for 50 to 60. So just like the 1 in 25, 1 in 50 going for ratio, even if it's characters people like, even if it's cool cover, even if it's the show is we're getting ready to get a trailer for season 3. This also screams trap. More than likely you're looking at $20, $25, $30 for this thing in 6 months. That's just the way it goes. It used to be Star Wars incentives actually had a tendency to do better than other incentives, actually hold better. They didn't have to go as high to hold when I first started doing this. But after the huge run on Star Wars comics, this was kind of pre a lot of the speculation on Star Wars comics and the Disney Plus stuff and all that. Now they act just like every other incentive. They really do. Plus, there's been a big boom. Marvel's produced a lot more Star Wars comics lately, too. Yeah, like that cover? Meh. Yeah. In general, not always. There are covers that break that, but in general, it certainly helps if there's something else behind it, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely changed. They become very much more similar to everything else now because there's just more of them, I think, is part of it, too. Next, more Star Wars. We got, you guys might think you've seen this before. You've seen the colored version. This is the Star Wars Hidden Empire number 1. Second print, 1 in 25. So this was an incentive on the first print, hit the list a few months back. Now the second print, incentive again of the black and white. This is 1 in 25 going all over the place. And I looked this up because they listed it as this 40 to 100 plus, and it's 40 to 100 plus. I'm putting this as an I'll be back. And I'll explain. If you paid 100 plus, this is probably a dumpster fire. But if you're paying the 40, 50, it's probably more on the I'll be back side of things. It really depends on which side. The spread is so wide here. It really depends on which side that you get on the spread. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you take the middle, if you're talking like 60, 70, it's probably a trap. so, so maybe I'll change that on my notes to a trap. But yeah, I mean, it's just hard to judge. Like, if you got it for 40, you probably haven't done terrible. If you got it for 100, you've probably done really bad. Just not great here. Yeah, why? Yeah, so we're going to change our overall prediction for the book on average to be a trap. Now that I think about that, I was saying, if you paid 40, it's probably an I'll be back. No, it's probably a trap. So, all right. Next. Oh, there we go. Let me change my so I can actually get to those. All right. Amazing Spider-Man number 17, the Lorenzo Pastrovecchio 1 in 100. This is the Disney variant. This 1 in 100 is currently doing 150 to 170. I know people were talking about this for a while. I guess I hadn't paid any attention to it. And I'm gonna look for you, yeah. And I know there's several more of these coming. I do wonder if the fact that there's more of these coming, more of these homages, and I don't like that. Why isn't this a homage on an Avengers book instead of an ASM book? Because there's another one coming on ASM later. I saw like in the previews today. It's goofy and it's an homage to Hulk, and it has like the Hulk title. And again, it's on an ASM book, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And if I do a bunch of these, it could make these worth less. But generally, Disney plus Marvel equals this. So, but at 150 to 170, black and white of Disney characters, yeah, he doesn't like it. So, like I said, generally that's what it means. I think this is probably more. So it's hard for me to be too negative on this because the history says this is going to continue to do really well. But my guess is maybe not quite this well. I don't think it's straight cat. I don't think it continues to go up. My official prediction is worth it, that it probably stays around this value. I realize Marvel is Disney. I just meant like traditional Disney characters in terms of Mickey and them, and like associating with Spider-Man and the historically Marvel characters. Now that they're all under one umbrella, whenever they mush them together on a comic cover, they've had a tendency to do well. But yes, you are correct; they are the same company. Well, there's some truth to that because everything ASM has sucked since Zeb Wells has taken this over. So yeah, but I'm putting this 1 in 100 at 150 to 170 right now. Is it worth it? Part of me kind of hopes I'm wrong. It seems a little silly to pay this much for this, in my opinion. But there's a lot of people that love these Disney covers. So I talked myself out of straight cash because historically it probably would be straight cash some of the first times they've done this. But this one, I think, because they're going to continue to do more of these, and I'm backing off to worth it. We'll see. Next. Why is it not clicking? There it is. Second week in a row, we got Poison Ivy number 8, the 1 in 50 foil. I'm telling you right now, the market is slow. As you can see, we've had 2 incentives that were going right for ratio. This is an incentive on for a second week in a row. Last week, this 1 in 50 was going for 50 to 60 right ratio. It's bumped all the way up to 75 to 80. Still not even double ratio. This is still a trap, just like what I said last week, based on the history of incentives. The market must be very slow right now, like just given the nature of the books. Yeah, I can get the trade dress for cover. I'm not. Yeah, and I think the trade dress is actually sort of prettier because you get the colors better. That's just me. Pretty much very similar. It is definitely very similar. I will say I love Frisian. I'll make excuses for her all day because I think her covers are gorgeous, but there's not a lot of there's not a ton of variation. So yeah. I mean they're very similar in style and positioning, and yeah, They're still gorgeous and I love them, but yeah, I totally get that. Next, Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 4. This is on the list. I guess I put it for buzz, but it's really controversy. I guess there's a sort of there's an Elseworld story in the back where the Joker is pregnant that people are all up in arms about, and I'm like, they've done crap like this. Go back to the Silver Age and see some of the crap they put on covers. But okay, whatever. 10 to 15 right now because of the controversy, and I can tell you right now that is that kind of controversy when the book was not recalled or something, and even when it's recalled books don't hold value consistently. It'll be a cover price book. 6 months, it'll be cover price. That it just will. There's no reason to really even talk about it more. Yeah, I think some of those were actually more varied and better than some of our more recent stuff in many ways. So, yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Well, I think, yeah, I haven't been reading. I'm just tired of the Joker. I haven't been interested. I wasn't in the previous series. I'm not interested in this one. Kind of like Miles' story, yes, pretty much. He's definitely overused, at least for me. I used to like the Joker, but he's used too much. Next, we're moving into MCU. Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Tom just dropped the hottest trending books of the week video. Maybe I'll scroll at the end and just see what they are and make some comments. We'll see. It just dropped. Well, I wasn't going to have time to do it later anyway. Captain America, number 3, first appearance of Joaquin Torres. He's going to be Falcon in Captain America New World Order coming up. This is the 1 in 25. This book's jumped up to 150, 190. Which honestly, for a first appearance, 1 in 25 for one of these new Marvel characters before the movie, that's actually pretty reasonable still. I still think it's an I'll be back. I don't think this character is going to necessarily take off. We're a long ways from New World Order yet. If you see what's going on with just we just talked about the Sam Wilson book again. His first appearance is Cap. That book's not worth very much right now. This is obviously the character's first appearance, but given the way Marvel's going, I still put this as an I'll be back. I don't think this book jumps a ton. I really just don't. I could be wrong. Yeah, it just popped up on my thing because I have his where I get the little alert so I can see it on weekends. But yeah. Next, Doctor Strange, number 1 from 2015, the first appearance of Zelma Stanton. I don't know who that is because I haven't read Strange Academy, but we got Strange Academy rumors this week of that America Chavez was basically going to go to a Strange Academy with Wong, and it was going to be a series, and blah, 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 and we're probably 2 years away, and who knows what characters they're going to use. This book's 10 to 15. My guess is if people are aware of this at 10 to 15, it's probably worth... I lean toward I'll be back. I'll be honest, just because unless this character is actually going to be important, it's probably not going to matter. So, I mean, maybe it's a $15, $20 book, and I should put it as worth it. But I find that hard to believe. I'm not that worried about it. I'll talk about the books that are available when I can talk about them. So I have met Tom briefly, but yeah, I don't know what he thinks of the fact that I do this. Probably not much. He probably doesn't think about it at all. I'll be honest. But, so, no bad. Oh, something bad book. Okay. So I don't know what happened there. Next we have Strange Academy number 1, the J. Scott Campbell variant. 9.8 on this are up. They were hovering around 100. They're up to 140, 150 with these Strange Academy rumors. This feels about right to me. These Strange Academy books have been fairly steady from the beginning. They jumped up initially. They've kind of sat there. This is not exceptionally high. My guess is this is kind of worth it. Is the first appearance of all of these characters. And not crazy high. I think this one's probably worth it. And then last of our books is Tales of Suspense. MODOK again. He shows up in the Ant-Man trailer. We've talked about MODOK like 9 different times because of his animated series and all this other stuff that they were doing. It's an I'll Be Back. The movie's going to be out here in another month or so. 6 months from now, nobody's going to be thinking about MODOK. This is an I'll Be Back. It's not going to move the needle enough. It's just not. So that's it. That's the list. I doubt that's the case. My guess is he's just been busy. But I don't have that high self opinion. So yeah, let the Ant-Man spec begin. So hang on a second. I'm going to mute it. Let's just see what we got and scroll through it. I don't. Why is it? It's not letting me because I'm live? What? I don't want that. I want. Go to my channel. All right. Let me go to. It's being weird because I've never tried to like. Let's go to subscriptions. All right. Tom dropped the video. So we're just going to scroll through this. Let me turn the volume all the way off. And just see what they talked about and see if I have any instant opinions on these. All right. They talked about the Joker book. I already gave that opinion. So that's their number 10 is the Joker book we just talked about. Number 9 is a Flash book. I don't know what Flash book that is. Flash 225. It's probably something to do with the WB show because it's only going for like $5. So that's a whatever. It's a $5 book. If you want to grab it for $5, go for it. Number 8 is the Doctor Strange 1 we talked about. So we already know what that one is. Number 6 is we got 3 crossovers already. So we got is the Amazing Spider-Man 1 in 100 with Mickey and is the Avengers and stuff. So we've already got 3 crossovers. That's interesting. What was the other crossover? Oh, the Joker book. So 3 matching. And we got here. Let me get rid of this so you guys can see me. What else did they talk about? That they just dropped this video. Number 5, MODOK. So there's 4. So we didn't need both lists. 4 of the first 5 are. Oh wait, I missed one. Somewhere. Yeah, hang on, because that's 5. This should have been 6. 6 was in Amazing Spider-Man. No, that's the one we just talked about. Maybe I missed 7. 9, 8. I missed 8. Okay, Nemesis. Oh, that's an option book. That book's been on there forever. That's Mark Millar and Netflix. That's an I'll Be Back at best, if not a trap. I don't see what the values are here. It's only $15, so we'll call it an I'll Be Back. But yeah, that book's been on the list multiple times. It's never amounted to anything. Number 4, Realm of Kings, Son of Hulk, some Hulk book. I don't know. $4. Whatever. I don't think we missed much. The market is just terrible. We got regular Strange Academy, the A cover. $100 average raw. It's 9.8 up to almost 300. I'm gonna put that as worth it again. I really am. So yeah. Man, Doc. Damn it. Good life experiments in comic science. There you go. 2 books to go here to give quick thoughts on. Last of Us. It's dropping right now. So don't buy it right now. 6 months from now, it'll be cheaper. Yeah. And yeah, I definitely would prefer the A cover on that Strange Academy. Yeah, it's 160 average on that Last of Us book. Come back later. The show is dropping right now. This is the worst time to buy. And then last but not least, or maybe least, MODOK, Marvel Premiere number 47, MODOK. It appears to be like a MODOK solo title, I guess, or MODOK solo story. No, wait. No, this is something else. Marvel Premiere. Oh, no, that's the first Ant-Man. Why were they showing MODOK on the thing? Marvel Premiere 47. That's not first Ant-Man. What is that? I need to turn. I don't remember what Marvel. First Scott Lang is Ant-Man. Okay. That's also an I'll Be Back though. The movie's dropping. That's an I'll Be Back. Okay. I was like, what is? I got my brain all twisted there. All right, there you go. That was a real quick rundown of the Tom stuff. I went through the others, so I'll have to add that when I talk about it later. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. And I hope you guys have the rest of your Sunday. Tonight, I will be on Magic Lasso's channel. We'll be talking about some Nightwing on his retro reviews and doing some other stuff. I forget all the stuff he does. It's a fun show. And then after that, we'll be playing some D&D. So come hang out. I'll catch you later. That is not what I wanted. Whoa, that's not what I wanted either. Why? I can't work StreamYard. I'm having problems. All right. Later.